Welcome everyone to Beyond the Black Tag. With us, you have Mau and myself, Jeremy, and we have a guest with us, Yonela Mafundityala, and we're glad to have him. We just want to say thank you everyone for watching the last video, our episode 1. We hope that you enjoyed it, got to know us as your hosts, and we hope that you'll get to enjoy this one right here with our guest, Yonela Mafundityala. Now, Yonela is a very special guest to me. Why? Because when I was on my mission, he was the first companion that I had. Now, the story about that is an interesting one of how we even became companions. He might just share that one. He's even smiling because he knows what's going on. But he was my first companion, my father on the mission, someone who I completely love. And not only did he train me to be a brilliant missionary on the mission, but he also trained me to get off of my mission. He met me at the airport when I came home and stayed with me for the week, and also went for the RSA convention, where many things happened there. To be continued. We shall see what happens later. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Yonel, tell us, my friend, who are you? You know, what's your background? Who are you? Where did you serve? And how's your family? And are they members as well? How did they support you coming back home?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Like you already said, Yonela Mafundityala. I am born and raised in East London, in the Eastern Cape, and I've been a member of the church for 11 years now. I got baptized in 2012, soon after my oldest brother got baptized. I was the very first one in the family to actually go to church, but I was very young to understand the entire business with church. So after some time, I stopped going to church. But I think by God's grace, the missionaries found our house again, and then they started teaching my brother for some time. And then I got familiar with the church. Not only that, but then I had a support structure, which was my older brother. So we went to church together. I think after a year, I then got baptized when I was about 12, 13 years old. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing time. It's been a roller coaster. But I just enjoyed the past decade as a member of the church. I served my mission in Zimbabwe. I was called to serve in 2018. I'm in the Zimbabwe Harare Mission, and then I stayed there for 17 months. But because of unforeseen challenges with COVID, I was then reassigned to Joburg. You're laughing because it wasn't my favorite 7 months on mission. I did not like.
That's for sure.
Which is really fun because Mau was my first AP when I got to Joburg. And then,
No ways.
You're my last companion. Yeah, Mauma was my first AP with my neighbor Kunjuzwa. So when I saw these guys as my APs, at least I had hope that Joburg was going to be not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, man, I served them for 7 months. It was really difficult the first couple of months, but as time progressed, I got the hang of things, and I tried to make the best out of it. There's one thing that I strived to do throughout my mission, and that is to serve and go home without any regrets. When I was at the MTC, my MTC President Bester, my very first interview with him, he had me read in DNC section 4, verse 2, where in the end it says, we will walk blamelessly before God at the last day. So that stayed with me throughout my mission. I tried as hard as I can to be void of significant mistakes. I tried to serve the Lord as much as I could, so that when my 2 years are done and I'm reflecting back on the days of my mission, I may look back with nothing but pride and honor. So yeah, as bad as the 7 months in Joburg were, I did my best. But as for the 17 months in Zimbabwe, I believe that I did good. So yeah, that was my mission, and basically my background into joining the church.
Okay. I have questions for you just before we move on to the next sections. Because you actually served with my sister as well in Zimbabwe. And she could not stop talking about you. You were her hero, you know. Every conversation I had of Yonela, Mafundityala, she didn't even say Elder Mafundityala. She'd be like Yonela, you know. She'd always refer to you with your first name, and she referred to you as a big brother, even though you're younger than her. You know, she's like, this is Putam, he fights our battles. You know, so I really had this image of this great guy, because she every time we'd speak, maybe on Mondays, when we'd call and things like that, she'd always talk about his own leader, you know, and just to Mafundityala, like he was always just protecting them out there. So it's really, really cool. I believe that those 17 months were really great for you because of the things that preceded you long before I met you. Yeah. But yeah, I think the questions I wanted to ask was, maybe what do you feel, besides the fact that you had made up your mind that your mission was going to be great, but once you were inside of the mission field, all right, and you saw the challenges, and you understood that, okay, this is not as easy as I'd imagined. What made you keep going? What made you a successful missionary, if we could put it that way?
Okay. Yeah, no. First and foremost, I didn't know that Uzanendwe said so many great things.
He's feeling good about himself. He's a happy man today.
I am so shocked at what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, no, she spoke highly of you.
Yeah, but no, her and I, we had a great relationship, and I think the mission president understood how close we were. It was crazy. Whenever she was sent to another zone, I'd be sent to that zone to be her zone leader, because I was one of the only guys in the mission that actually understood the real her, because for many months she was misunderstood. And then I just got to know her, and then we just clicked. But as for your question, what kept me going is understanding that the work is much bigger than I am, right? Much bigger than my challenges, much bigger than what I think it is. I tried to lose myself in the service of others, because that's what mission is, right? As much as we're there to learn, as much as we're there to, get disciplined and have great principles, the core part of our mission is to cry repentance to the people that do not know the gospel. So it doesn't matter even if you teach 2 lessons a day or you teach 10 lessons a day. Our primary purpose, it starts and ends with crying repentance. And that's one of the things I taught Jeremy when I was training him. I taught him that the success, or your success as a missionary, is not in how many people you find or teach, but your success lies at your effort with trying to teach and find and baptize and confirm people into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So that is what kept me going personally, is the happiness that I saw in the eyes of the people that I was teaching, the kind of effect that or impact rather, that I was making in their lives, because these people went from not knowing anything about the gospel, but desiring to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, to me finding them, introducing the fullness of the gospel in their lives, and seeing the entire culture changing, and seeing them walk towards doing the right things. So that's what kept me going. The challenges, they were there. I mean, if you're serving in Zimbabwe, you understand that besides the work, there are other challenges as well. I mean, there are other things that demotivate you, that discourage you from going into the area. I mean, it's not every day that you have, running water. It's not every day that you have, electricity. There's a language barrier and all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Understanding that this is not about you. This is not your work. This is the Lord's work. And if you desire to serve the Lord, then everything, it just seems to fall into place, regardless of what's, coming, everything just seems to fall into place.
Okay.
Funny enough, I do remember 100% like what he's talking about, like how he told that to me. One of the things I wanted to mention was he wrote in my journal, and he's the only person who, actually him and my the second child, my second son who I trained, wrote in my journal. And what Yonela said to me, the last thing he wrote was, if you like, don't change who you are, but if you're going to change for the good. And that stuck with me, and that's how I tried to bring that into a lot of the people that I taught. Like everything that I went through, I always got to live and love and laugh with all the people that I taught. I didn't just go in there, sit there and say, I'm here to teach you, I'm here to call you to repentance. It was, who are you, how are you, how can I help you, what is something I can help you with. Coming here to serve you. I'm not coming here to just preach to you. I'm here to teach you and to help you and to serve you. And that's something that he showed me. Although we were stuck over the phone talking to our one of the sisters, and she's got the softest voice on the planet, that when we're sitting and trying to teach the sister and get good answers from her, and we're both here, his ears here, my ears here, and we're just trying to hear this person, and we'll be like, Sister Mapemba, did you hear that? And she'll go, mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, it's good enough, we'll move on. It was pretty hectic. But I wanted to ask you the next question of, how did your mission change you and prepare you for life after mission?
I was told this before my mission, and it made manifest after that. Your mission is a micronism of the person that you will be after. The person that you are on your mission in a little scale is a testimony of who you will be when you're done. If you're someone that kept the commandments during your mission, if you're someone that served as best as you could during your mission, then you will basically be that person after you're done with your mission. And I'm lucky that I was told that before I left, because those are one of the things that kept me in check during my mission. I remember when I was preparing to serve, I was speaking with my state President Van Heerden at the time, and he's telling me, he says, Brother Mafundityala, you will have your entire teenage years to prepare for your mission, and you'll only have 2 years to live it, and the entire eternity to reflect and think back on the days of your mission. And that stuck with me, because I did not want to look back and then all I see is just complete regret and, oh, I could have done better there, or maybe I should not have done that. And because I strived as hard as I could to be obedient, then when I came back home, facing the challenges that come post-mission, they were kind of a little bit easier, because when you're on mission, I think this is page 4 of Preach My Gospel, where it speaks about the setting apart, right? It says that when you are set apart as a missionary, you are set apart from anything that is low, from anything that is vulgar, from anything that is rude, vicious, or of low report. you are set apart to a higher plane of thought, right? Now, what sometimes missionaries do is they forget that they have been set apart from these things, and then they descend down to being a normal person, right? Now, when they come back home, they don't come home with that strength and that spirit that they've gained from mission, and then they just, go back to being worse people. But now, if you keep the commandments as a missionary, keep to that level of standard that you were set apart to become, when you come home, you sort of cruise in that, in that level of spirituality for the longest time. And obviously, I mean, spiritual challenges will come and they will, and they will try and beat you here and there. But when you do take that dip spiritually, it's not gonna go, down, right? You're gonna be on safe ground. So I think that's what kept me in check, even after our comeback, is the man that I wasn't, the obedient man to the commandments and to the mission rules, helped me become or continue to be an obedient man even after mission.
That is
So
awesome. That is amazing.
That is so powerful, and I think that's an important thing for everyone to take. That preparation is key. It was helpful for you to have that leader to tell you, hey, prepare. You have your whole young manhood right now to prepare for this 2 years, and the rest of your life after that to reflect on it. But I also think an important note is for those who never had that preparation, to not beat themselves up if maybe their mission was less than ideal. To say, I made mistakes. I stayed at an appointment longer than I was supposed to, or whatever it is. I woke up later than I was supposed to wake up.
Yeah.
But life goes on, and maybe to try to incorporate things that they didn't do or the mistakes that they did make, to say, okay, in my life I'll avoid not being fully obedient or not striving my best. So I like that. I like how your preparation played a role into the man you now are. So just I just want to zone in more on Jeremy's question, because look, Yonela, you're an amazing guy, right? We all look up to you. And however, today there's a lot of guys who serve missions like us. I come home and it's just tough, right? I come home, my family, maybe they're no longer members, or I come home and I can't get a job. Maybe I expected God was going to bless me. I've just gone ahead and served him for 2 years, and I come back and, rejection after rejection. Or I can't get into school, right? For you, what were those challenges? What were the things that you felt like, man, I really wish I didn't have this stumbling block right now? And how, if you have overcome them, how did you overcome them?
That's a very good question, and I'm trying to think of specific things that I struggled with when I came back. I mean, I'm grateful for the family that I have, my mom and my brothers, because when I came back, I already have an older brother that served that I could look up to. I have another older brother that's like my biggest fan. So when I came back from mission, we spent a lot of time together, and he tried to help me steer my ship into the right direction after my mission. So I'm grateful for the family that I have. But some of the things that I struggled with when I came back is feeling like I belong into society. I keep saying to people when I speak about mission is when you're on mission, it's like you're stuck in time, and then the entire world around you just revolves, or evolves rather. It evolves and progresses. While you're
Yeah.
stuck in your 2 years, doing whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, the world is not waiting for you. it's evolving. New trends are being introduced. New norms are being introduced into society. And now when you come back from mission, you come back thinking that things are still the same. That some of the people that were your friends, or the people that you looked up to are still there and they're still the same. And then only to find out that, dang it, things have changed, things have changed, and socially you have been left behind. And everyone knows me as a person that gets along with everyone. I love getting along with everyone. But for a short while, maybe a long while after my mission, I struggled to feel like I actually belong, to feel like people actually understand me. For me,
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many relationships I've burnt after my mission. It was mainly because I don't understand whatever it is that society is doing, because even the entire institution about relationships has changed entirely.
That's so true.
But taking things a day at a time, it kind of helped. I remember when Jeremy came back from mission, this is the same thing that I told him. I told him that, it's not going to take you a month to readjust to home life. It might not even take you 6 months. For me, it took, almost 2 years for me to fully readjust
Same.
because there were days where I wish I was back in Zimbabwe serving. I remember there were days where I was just consistently thinking about my mission. Those days where you wake up in the morning and you just sit and you're crying because you want to go back, because now you have to change lifestyle like this. Coming back to home life. So I struggled a lot with belonging and feeling like I belong into society, finding the right type of people to be around and have lasting friendships and stuff like that. So yeah, but I took it a day at a time, and focused on the things that matter the most, focused on the things that I could control, because I think sometimes that's why you find RMs returning from mission and then they just fall into a pit. It's because they want to mimic whatever it is that's happening around, because they don't want to feel like they're left behind, right? But staying true to yourself and focusing on the things that you can control. And yeah, man, just be busy with other things that are more important. That's what helped me get over that. But my family has been there ever since I came back from mission. I get all the support that I need from my family.
Yeah. Yo, I was sitting here and I'm listening to you and I'm like, why did I go through the exact same thing? It's so hard. Like the part about friends, you literally come back and it's like I got a new phone when I came back. And the fortunate thing, or maybe unfortunate at this point, is my Google account, from my old Google account that I put into my phone, had all of my old contacts. But I looked at my contacts and I'm like, if I'm gonna send you a message, why am I doing that? Like I don't know what I'm going to speak to you about. I'll be like, hi, I've been back from from wherever I was for 2 years that I couldn't speak to you for those 2 years for, and it was worse. I left during COVID. I couldn't I didn't tell people that I was going on mission. I couldn't formally say, yo guys, I'll see you later. It was just gone, and then all of a sudden, boom, this guy comes back, I felt that one hard. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, the friends part is just insane. That was a huge issue for me. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have something you want to say, Mao?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking. I don't want to incriminate my wife or myself here, because I don't want to sleep on the couch tonight. But one of the first things my wife said when we were still dating, just speaking on the same thing of coming back and you being different, or the world having moved on, where you were in this 2 years zone or pause of time. One of the first things she said is like, "You're not cultured," you know. She's like, so frustrating. You're not cultured, you know. Referring, of course, to you don't know, the music, you don't know the dances that are trending right now and everything. And she wasn't saying it out of like being a bad person. It's just like, "Hey, dude, you're frustrating. Why can't you be cultured?" So I think that's very, very funny. Just listening to your experience, Yonela, being the same as Jeremy's experience, being somewhat mine, and I think a lot of people, and I think that's the nice thing about this platform, is the issues raised here are things that nearly every return missionary can relate to. It's something, I went through this, but somebody else went through it. And it'll help those who are yet to return to say, if this happens, don't worry, it happens. You're not an outcast. You're just adjusting. You're just adjusting again to the difficulty of coming back. So thank you so much. That's profound.
Sweet, thank you. Catch us for part 2, as we will see Yonela again in a bit. Thank you.